Hey audience, this is Top Guidelines and today I wanna show you top 10 most successful freelancing tips for beginners. As a freelancer you're your own boss, and that entails a lot of mundane tasks that require good judgment on how you go about doing things. Number 1. Use a contract on every project. Should you always have a client sign a contract, even if it's a small job? How do you put together or find the right contract for each job? Too many freelancers get caught up in the details of contracts, and it's ultimately wasting a lot of time that should be spent making money. In its simplest form, your contract terms should cover, the work that you produce is original and not plagiarized. The client's proprietary information stays confidential. Your payments terms. How much you'll get paid and when during the process. That once the client accepts the completed work, they accept full responsibility for any further processes in which the work is used, e.g. printing, putting logo to use, etc. You and the client has the right to terminate the services, and what that entails for you both. It's not intended to cover every type of situation, but it can help get you started. Number 2. Always get a down payment. One of the biggest issues you hear about freelancing is not getting paid on time or getting stiffed by the client. I've luckily never experienced this, but that's because I follow a simple process when starting a project. To guarantee payment 100% of the time, you must require a down payment. For all projects I take on, I require 50% upfront before I start any official design work, and I make this clear to the client in our preliminary discussions and in my contracts. If the client has an issue with this, then that should raise a red flag. Also, by requiring a down payment, the project doesn't progress without it, so you'll never risk a late payment again. Once I've received the contract signed and down payment, I'm good to go on starting the work. Then before I deliver any workable files, I require the final 50% payment. I do this so the client doesn't take what I've created, cancel the project, and run. So before you've fully been paid, don't send any master files or designs in full resolution. Number 3. Don't be afraid to say no. Saying no is hard, especially if you're like me. You're generous and want people to feel happy working with you. You don't want to disappoint anyone, so you offer to help any way you can, not really considering the strenuous load it'll put on you. If you should take on a project, ask yourself these questions: do I specialize in the work that's needed by this client? Why am I taking this project on? Is it a commitment I should be making? Why am I adding that project onto my plate? The worst thing about taking on everything that comes your way is that your plate may end up full, but with all of the wrong commitments. Next time you get a project, don't just reply with a yes. Really consider the opportunity. Number 4. Focus your freelance business. If you've followed my writing for a while now, you'll know I share quite frequently about focusing freelance business and importance of it. I continue to share this tip because I regularly get message after message from freelancers who seem to be stuck. By focusing your brand identity and the type of projects you take on, it'll make everything much easier for you, from marketing to doing the actual design work. Pick 1 or 2 services to specialize in, and only take on work that falls into those categories. Then turn down the rest. Once you've decided on the services you now specialize in, be sure to translate that in your brand. Reword everything on your website to those. Number 5. Showcase the work you want to take on. This tip goes hand in hand with the previous tip of focusing your freelance business, but I think is a topic worth elaborating on. Many freelancers make the mistake of filling their portfolio with work just to show that they have some sort of skill in design. But most often, the work just comes off as all over the place, and will only do your portfolio a disservice. There's a difference between a freelance business portfolio and a school portfolio. Your freelance portfolio should only contain the work you specialize in and want to continue accepting via client work. The work can consist past client work or even personal work. Let's say you specialize in logo design. If that's what you want to be known for, then you should only showcase logo projects in your freelance portfolio. whose portfolio might be all over the place. Number 6. Be transparent with your clients. As a freelancer, your business is just you running it inside out. That's something you must be proud of, so don't hide behind a facade. Be the name and face of your business, because your business is you. From a client's perspective, if I were to hire you to provide a service, I would want to know who I'm giving my money to. So be sure to inject who you are into your brand. You can shape that however you'd like, but the key is to be personable. Also, when a client is interested in working with you, be transparent in conversing with them. If they're going to hire you, number 7. Write, and write. This is the most important tip I can give you to take your freelancing to the next level, and that's to write. I don't care if you don't think you're a good writer. Writing is the doorway to getting your name out there, having clients find you, and to truly grow yourself as an individual and freelancer. I personally don't think I'm a great writer, and you can only imagine how I felt about my writing a year ago. It comes with practice. I owe everything I've accomplished this past year to my writing. Everything I do, whether. Number 8. Focus on the now. Watch your feet so you don't trip while looking at the end goal. You know where you want to be one day, so focus on what you can do now to end up there. Too many freelancers get hung up on envying those they aspire to be. If you wish to have a reliable client base, a product that can help supplement your income, or if you don't want to have to rely on a single client to make a living, then what are you doing today to make that happen? Make a daily to-do list with small tasks that you can easily complete by the end of the day. Progress is progress, and if you start taking it one step at a time. Number 9. Know your numbers. Our freelancing efforts must be treated like a business, and as a business, you need to know your numbers. Such as, business revenue, how much do you need to make per month to live? Site traffic, where is it coming from? What's your most popular content? Link conversion rates and content interactivity. What calls to action are work. Number 10. Split your income for taxes and savings. If you're serious about freelancing, then start separating your income and save. For every dollar I make that's business related, I split it up like this: 12% to business for business related expenses, 16% to business taxes. This will save my butt when it comes tax time. 12% to personal savings. What's left over goes into my personal checking for living expenses. I'm not saying this is the way to handle and split your finances, but it's what works for me. What's important here is putting a minimum of 16% of every dollar earned towards taxes. It's the same concept of an employer taking taxes out of your paycheck.